What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess, and I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, that's DAILYDOG, at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. And let me just say it, you're not going to get a better promo code at Underdog than that. So if you've been thinking about joining the app and you haven't done it yet, do it now. Get that best promo code that you'll find anywhere. There's much bigger podcasts than mine out there that have Underdog promo codes. Their promo codes are not better than promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG. 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000 is as good as it's going to get. So again, share it with your friends. Give them Daily Dog. If you want to give them the best promo code out there, give them the Daily Dog promo to maximize their investment on Underdog. All right, let's get into it. The slips yesterday, man, our man Xavier Worthy, somebody hit me up on Twitter. I definitely jinxed him. He had a negative 10-yard rush in that kind of weird DOA on our 40.5 rushing plus receiving yards in Monday Night Football for him. We did get the DeAndre Hopkins rushing plus receiving touchdown, and then Baker Mayfield apparently was listening to the haters, and he had receipts and did not throw a pick in this game. He almost threw one in the very first quarter against to Reed, safety of the Chiefs, but he did not. So that Monday Night Football slip did not come home. And then, LaMelo Ball couldn't get the ball in the boot hoop. He shot 2 of 8. A couple of those young guards that throw up a bunch of shots. I guess Trae Young's not that young of a guard anymore. But a couple guys just really kind of messed up on their on their three-point attempts. I think Trae Young was like 0 for 6 in that game versus the Celtics, and then LaMelo Ball was just 2 for 8 in his game. So not the greatest three-point shooting day from some of the young guards out there. But Alperen Sengun, still a stud. The dude is, I'm going to be using him on slips all year long because people don't know him somehow because he's down in Houston. But that said, we're going to keep on grinding away, keep on firing away. We got 3 more slips today. The first one is obviously going to be for Thursday Night Football. You know that I like to get some slips in the put some I guess firewood into the fire, get it going early in the week because a lot of this stuff is going to move, especially the hires. So if you put these in early for Thursday Night Football, you usually get some closing line value. Obviously, closing line value does not guarantee success. It's something that's good to have, but I would rather have a winning slip than a high value slip that doesn't come home in the end of the day. So without further ado, let's get into Thursday Night Football. We got the Bengals at the Ravens here, a division game. The Bengals kind of are turning a corner. I mean, every team looks like they're turning a corner against the Raiders. They're that bad. I mean, even the Panthers came into Vegas and destroyed the Raiders. So I'm not really going to say, oh, Joe Burrow and this Bengals team is back. But I will say their passing game is still very good and their defense is still very bad. So we're going to try to use that to our advantage here. Joe Burrow higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. The guy, he's just got a lot of weapons through the air. I mean, even the running back they're using and featuring now, Chase Brown, is an explosive guy who can take a short swing pass and go 70 yards for a TD. So I like those options, and I like Joe Burrow to do it with his arm in this game. In a game like this, you're going to need Joe Burrow to kind of take the initiative and lead the team. So I love Joe Burrow to have higher than 1.5 passing and touchdowns against the Ravens in this one. Next, we're going to go to Mike Gesickki, higher than 43.5 receiving yards. Gesickki has gotten like 9 targets in consecutive games. One of those games was a blowout loss, one was a blowout win. So that's obviously pretty good for the usage rate of Mike Gesickki. If you're seeing him being, used and regardless of game state, they're just like, this guy's actually a good pass catcher. We like our matchups with Gesickki. And again, you can have a good tight end game against the Ravens every once in a while. I wouldn't get used to it. But again, with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on the outside, I think that there is some underneath stuff that Gesicki's going to be able to take advantage of. And 43.5 receiving yards is not going to be here on Thursday. So lock that one in early. Last one, Derrick Henry, higher than 91.5 rushing yards. Bengals defense stinks. I don't care how you swing it. They stink. And I love taking advantage of these bell cow backs on these short weeks for Thursday Night Football. Derrick Henry is a guy that's the best running back in the league, probably. Maybe not the most well-rounded, but as far as lowering the shoulder, getting 3 yards per play, and then having the breakaway speed after he trucks a safety, you're not going to find anyone better than Derrick Henry. So give me Derrick Henry higher than 91.5 receiving or 91.5 rushing yards here. This 3-leg slip, Joe Burrow higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns, Mike Gesickki higher than 43.5 receiving yards, and Derrick Henry higher than 91.5 rushing yards is a 5.4x multiplier. All right, NHL, we're taking a big shot here, so I don't necessarily think you should bet your whole bankroll on this one. but I do like some spots. So one, Kirill Kaprizov of the Wild facing the Kings. Kings are on the back end of a back-to-back game here, both on the road. I like him higher than 1.5 points. Kaprizov is obviously, a finalist for the best player in the in the NHL this season. MVP, and I think Hart Trophy is what they call it in the NHL. There's obviously a bunch of names. I don't necessarily always have those straight for the NHL award season, but I definitely like the spot for Kaprizov against the Kings. With the Kings playing a back-to-back, they won on the first leg, so might be a little bit of a loose spot for them. Meanwhile, coming off rest, give me the Wild in this one. Next, we're going to go to Sidney Crosby, higher than 1.5 points. This is pretty crazy because they're going against the Islanders, and Islanders are kind of one of the only teams in the NHL that actually plays some defense. The thing is that Sid the Kid has had a really good run lately. He's got 14 points already on this season. Last couple games, he's gotten 2+ points in 3 straight games, 2 points, 2 points, 3 points. So he's obviously in a good spot as far as setting guys up and also scoring goals himself. He's actually scored 4 goals in the last 2 games, 2 in each of the last 2 games. So pretty good for him. And then before that, he did a 3-assist game. So give me Sid the Kid to keep on going here. And then obviously there's a big game for the Penguins against the Capitals on Friday. It's a nationally televised game. Going to be pretty awesome. Penguins Caps. They're just the 2 old dogs that are still doing new tricks. Sidney Crosby against Alex Ovechkin. So look for an NHL slip on Friday. Maybe it'll be an 82-hour slip. Maybe it'll be a full NHL slip. We'll decide before that. But let's keep on going back to today. So I gave you Kirill Kaprizov, I gave you Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, both of those guys higher than 1.5 points. You could take 0.5 point too if you wanted to really reduce this and make it a little safer. But again, I told you this is an NHL shot we're taking here. So you got to take some, no risk it, no biscuit, as they say. Next one, we're going to go Jared McCann of the Kraken. The Kraken are a team that I'm kind of starting to grow on me a little bit this season. They're not. I don't know if they're going to win a championship or anything, but they might be hanging around for the playoffs this season. That's for sure. And they're going to face the Colorado Avalanche. One thing you should know about the Avalanche this year: they do not play defense. They do not stop the puck well. They've allowed exactly 5 goals in 3 straight games, and they've allowed 4+ in 4 straight games. They have they've had some complete defensive meltdowns already this season. They won at the Kraken already earlier this year, so maybe a short revenge spot. I doubt it's really a revenge spot. These teams see each other enough. You can't always be having revenge. But that said, give me Jared McCann to have higher than 0.5 point versus this team that just looks lost defensively and with the goaltending. So yeah, give me the Jared McCann, the Kraken man, in this one higher than 0.5 point. These 3 legs of this NHL slip is 9.76x. So obviously a big one, almost 10-1 here. So it's Kirill Kaprizov. All the names in hockey really blow my mind. It's almost as bad as tennis. I just can't say them. Kirill Kaprizov higher than 1.5 points. Sid the Kid higher than 1.5 points. Jared McCann higher than 0.5 point. 9.76x. All right. Last thing we've got on today's slip. We're going to get into the MACTION, which is the weekday MAC football. MACTION is what started it all for weekday college football. The MAC starts a little bit slower though. Before that, the Sun Belt, Conference USA, those conferences have been beating them to the punch lately and getting games going midweek. But Tuesday, MACTION is back. I can't guarantee the games are going to be good. I can guarantee there's probably going to be some weather at some point this year in MACTION games. Keep an eye on that because they're playing up, in northern Michigan and eastern Ohio and all these, Midwestern places that have weather rolling in like crazy. But I'm picking Connor Bazelak, the quarterback for Bowling Green, to have higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Dude is a stud, and he should actually be able to move the ball in this matchup here against Central Michigan. Central Michigan is not that good defensively. They allow a ton of points, and Bazelak likes to throw the ball. As a quarterback, I hope he likes to throw the ball. But just looking at his last couple of games, he's got 2 passing touchdowns in 2 consecutive games, and then 3 out of his last 5, and he's got 4 games on the season with 2+ passing touchdowns, and that includes a game at Penn State where they almost upset the Nittany Lions. So this dude's a gamer. He likes the spotlight. Give me Bazelak higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns, and then we're gonna go with his number 1 target, tight end. You don't know about Harold Fannin, 97.5 receiving yards. The dude has had like a 10-catch, 173-yard receiving game already this season. He is number 1 receiver for this team. Again, I'll just read you off some stats because you're probably not familiar with this dude. Last week, 6 receptions, 74 yards. All right, whatever. Kent State, 10 for 171. Earlier in the year, Akron, 9 for 135. At ODU, 12 for 193. At Texas A&M, 8 for 145. At Penn State, 11 for 137. This guy, like Bazelak, likes to surprise under the bright lights. So give me Harold Fannin here. Last one before we get out of here. We're going to go with Brent Gabbert, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns against Ball State. Again, just a good matchup. Miami of Ohio kind of is they're 4-4. They're in statement mode. So give me Brent Gabbert here to get this one done. This is a 4.96x slip. 4.96x, so almost 4-1 here. Thank you for listening, and let's make some money.